My name's Frank Morrill, and I've been collecting these kinds of things for the past 54 years.
Boxes and boxes of mysterious glass slides of the architecture in and around Worcester, Massachusetts in the late 1800s. Frank Morrill's granddaughter noticed something else. Some of the slides appeared to be numbered portraits.
She said, "Oh, why does it have a little number in the back?" And it had a little number 76 was scratched into it. And I said, at first I don't know. And then I looked into it a little further, and within a couple hours I realized that I had the logbook that I purchased along with the nearly 6,000 negatives when I bought them from this one photographer, William Bullard.
Basically projected some of the glass negative slides that he had scanned up on a big, beautiful computer screen. And I was just completely blown away. I mean, I was just shocked by what he was showing me. I mean, first of all, they were beautiful photographs. They were just so pristine, and the contrast and the composition, everything was so beautiful, but the faces were so compelling. And so I was, my jaw dropped.
Jeanette Greenwood created a graduate-level class at Clark University on William Bullard's glass slides. Students study the images and trace the history of his subjects, hoping to possibly connect with modern-day ancestors.
In 2014, when I learned about the Bullard exhibit and I received that phone call, let me tell you, I literally got goosebumps.
Kim and Camille Hampton were able to meet Celia Perkins, a relative they knew nothing of and who just lived miles from their current home.
This is my great-great-great-great-grandparents, Cecilia and Edward Perkins. A lot of people don't have the gift of being able to actually see their ancestors and to see the generations, and to have that type of family tree that we've been blessed as a gift.
Not only did my family live here and survived and thrived, but there is the Black presence in America is very strong, and we're rooted in the history.
Kids are living in a different world, and what happens is a lot of kids get isolated. They feel very left out, and that makes them despondent, and then all kinds of bad things come from that.
I fidget a lot. So, like in school, I'm sometimes like this under my desk. I do this. I fidget.
In class all day, we pop it, and then it will sometimes make a couple noises, but then we pop it with our bad hand, and then we write at the same time if we have to write, or we'll pop it and we'll pay attention to the board.
I would say from my first year of teaching, which was 14 years ago, to now, that the level of anxiety that I've seen in my students has doubled.
It manifests a lot in physical ways, headaches, fidgeting, nausea. A lot of the games they play and even the videos they watch are very fast-paced. They're flashing through many different scenes and clips, and the games are, going from this thing to the next, and it makes their brain overstimulated, so therefore they're not able to self-regulate their bodies.
There's this one kid, he spends all his time playing video games, and even when the counselors tell him to get off, he just keeps doing it.
They hide behind technology. They hide behind Facebook or Instagram or these Snapchats where you put cute little things on your face and you talk to your friends. And you say things that you would never say to someone face to face.
They're very adept with technology and very comfortable with it. And when I do want them to create something with their hands, that's very challenging for them, and I really have to walk them through the process.
Depending upon what neighborhood you grew up in the old, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, You develop friends and relationships outside of school from your neighborhood. So you got friendly with a kid that was 3 to 5 years older than you, or 3 to 5 years younger than you, and together you picked and you played pickup sports, football, basketball, whatever that sport might have been, marbles, and you developed, communication skills, and you also kind of developed how to survive on the streets without mom or dad, defending and fighting your own battles. So without those tools, I think our kids aren't going, the kids of the future aren't going to get a chance to develop their own skills to manage even the simplest of things.
Digging a tunnel in the snow or out in the woods, try to find different things. That ability to just sort of, hey, there are no rules. We'll just make up our own things.
When I think of the American flag, there's a story that clings to that symbol for me. The story about President Lincoln when he heard the Star-Spangled Banner for the first time, and he sat there and the bombs bursting in air, and he tears just streamed down his face, and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. That's what comes to mind.
Not just a piece of cloth floating in the air. It's more of something that represents the historical aspects of America, of the country in itself. And for me, when it's floating in the air, it means that I'm here. This is one of the, personally saying, this is the only flag I know got to the moon. So it's the people's flag. It's the world's flag. It's everyone's flag at the end of the day.
The flag means quite a bit. My stepson was killed in Iraq. And so that is what it meant a lot to him, therefore it means a lot to me.
The American flag is not just a symbol for this country, but for the entire world, the best symbol there is for freedom. And on this particular day, all the hiking community, we commemorate all those who lost their lives on 9/11.
To come out here and do this, I mean, it makes what the memorial is, and that's what the flag represents for us, is the memorial for all those lost.
Spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Somewhere there's a place for me, somewhere.
Yeah, so, the real story here, and it's sometimes forgotten for whatever reason, is that we're all immigrants and we're all refugees, unless we happen to be, indigenous. And we were talking about the challenges they face. Well, the obvious first challenge you face is you lose your language. Coming in speaking Bengali or Swahili or Arabic or Portuguese or French or whatever it may be, you're not only coming to a different culture, but you're coming to a place where you have no way of communicating to other people. And obviously music is the universal communication. And so I created the chorus basically to give these new arrivals their voices back.
I personally use music to get my voice heard. And for the longest time, oppression and struggles that a lot of girls in my community faced, they were not able to find any tool except for music. So for me, really music gives us power and it gives us a sense of freedom.
We'll find comfort and care from our hearts to theirs.
Music means a lot to me because most of the times girls like me are looked down to. We don't have people think we don't have so much to offer, but like through music, we send a message out, and it's a way that we can express ourselves. And like in music is where we have this space where we feel strong, you know? It's like our power, you know?
Zoo has an incredible amount of energy, and so whether he's channeling it into his art, or whether he's channeling it into his dancing, or whether he's channeling it into his relationships, he's a very high energy person, and he has a ton of passion that's just pouring out of him.
The grandfather of this program. He goes into hospitals, he goes to jails, he goes to the youth center. He just will not say no to anybody to ask for help.
I've been an addict all my life, and to be clean and sober is a huge gift, to say the least.
When I heard about Zoo getting sick with cancer, I was like, how can that be? You know, I mean, that guy can't be sick, you know, like they can't take him from us.
Look at that. That's how my life's going these days. Very nicely, even though I'm supposedly sick with life-threatening diseases. I don't feel too sick. I actually feel pretty darn good.
Brothers don't always get along, they don't always like each other. JT, as the younger brother, was already somewhat of a caregiver from an early age. Those two were just inseparable.
We were like, I would say the total opposite. He was into skateboarding, outdoors, and I was into art and heavy metal music. We became really close and we stayed by each other's side.
Here's a kid in a motorized wheelchair and a kid riding a skateboard behind him. JT just was like blazing a trail and people followed.
His level of progression was beyond everybody else's. He got so good so fast.
We were in Portland one time and we came to the stair set. It was a 9-stair to 11. We all thought it was nearly impossible. And we watched John do it and over, just keep slamming and slamming and slamming. And we finally pulled it. Everything that you think is impossible, you pull it off.
There aren't many people like JT that you come in contact with, and if you do come in contact with someone like him, you're fortunate. As open and loving as JT was for everyone else, he had his own turmoil inside.
He wrote something one time about the figment of his imagination versus reality. He didn't know where the line was sometimes. He said, "Mom, what if I get trapped in hell and the doors close forever and I can never get out?" I don't know how to answer that.
Schizophrenia is one of the most serious mental illnesses that we face in behavioral health. This is an illness that really tears families apart.
It's easy to take care of Michael, but we couldn't take care of JT, except to love him, you know. He knew we loved him, I know that, but we couldn't fix him.